The last 5.5 years, I've been trying to start this revolution in which we act in all the settings of our parishes like the church, where church isn't just what we do on Sunday, but we are a force for change and reconciliation in our neighborhoods, where people trust us and not shy away from us. They don't see us coming and imagine that all we want is to get them in church so we can get their pocketbook. If the Brotherhood of St. Andrew comes up with some ideas for evangelizing, I'll find the money to make it happen. But you've got to find a way to do it. Third, and I know that all of you know this already, that early in December, Father Matero Sabuni is going to be with us in order to introduce the concept of members of the Brotherhood becoming my agents for prison ministry in this diocese. We're real good at incarcerating our young folk, but as a diocese, we are terrible at ministering. We have almost no one going into the jails in the city or run by the state. We have no one from our diocese ministering to the families of our people who are incarcerated. And in December, we're going to begin to change that. And I am inviting you, the Brotherhood of St. Andrew, to take hold of this ministry primarily under the guidance of Father Matero Sabuni, who's coming to give us his time and his energy and his expertise. Because you have to be trained to do this work. Because if you came to me and said, Bishop, I need a favor. I wrote a note to my wife. Could you get it to my wife? I would take that note and I'd make sure I delivered it. But if someone who was incarcerated asked you to do that and you did it, you're committing a crime. Because you don't know that that man who's just asked you to do that favor is in jail because he beat his wife. You need to know the difference. So we're going to train anyone in this diocese who's associated with the Brotherhood of St. Andrew to be ministers for our emerging prison ministry. I would rather ask you to do that with me than to raise one dime to support ministry. Leave that to the people who teach stewardship. And don't be enticed by, well, it's all for camaraderie. It's all building up the social life of the parish. You want to build the social life of the parish? Have a dance every Saturday night and invite the whole neighborhood. Open up your buildings. Make sure the place is spick and span, and open up the buildings and invite everybody in. If we only socialize with ourselves, we're going to be a dying breed. We've got to open our places up to the neighborhoods that we serve. That's what's being the church in the midst of the community. And so I think I've caused enough trouble. But I can tell you that I waited to share this with you tonight rather than saying all of this at convention. The news of this will break tomorrow and Tuesday, and then right after everyone's done digesting their turkey on Thanksgiving Day, I'll start getting very strange emails from the clergy saying, Bishop, did you really tell those guys that they're not supposed to be doing it? You darn bet I am. And it's even being recorded. So here's the deal. support us to take seriously the ministry that God has placed on us. And it is the ministry of that fellowship in which I say to my brother or sister, I've got this friend in Jesus that I want you to meet. I have a relationship with Jesus that I want to share with you. Because you know as well as I do, in the places where we live, most of the people we interact with have no relationship with God or the church and don't know anything about Jesus. And if all the people in your circle don't need to hear that message, then you need to get out more. The brotherhood needs to get out more. And we need to start infecting the neighborhoods. And not just become a closed enclave that just does our thing. You see, that gospel passage is all we need to know about evangelism. Andrew and his brother Peter and the two sons of Zebedee had an encounter with Jesus, and they went and spread the good news. That's as simple as it is. You don't have to have gone to seminary to know that that's how simple it is to be able to share it, preach it by the actions of your lives. Now, I said there were three things, but there really is a fourth. The clergy in the diocese have gotten used to this with me. I never want to end. But that fourth thing is, I've invited you to give the clergy a hard time about their using you as fundraisers. They need your prayers. They need your support. They need your encouragement. They need you to be on their side. The women and men who are ordained in this diocese need you to have their back. Those of you who have raised children know that sometimes the way you have someone's back is you grab hold of them by the scruff of the neck and you say, "You really want to do that?" Our clergy need you to love them enough that you're willing to sacrifice, respectfully saying to them, "Father, Mother, I don't think that's a good idea." See, I would rather someone come to me and say, "Bishop, I don't think that's a good idea," rather than saying nothing and then on the way home making my real opinion known. We got to put an end to that. We've got to grow to trust each other. We need to build trust that is built on mutual respect and prayer and care for one another. And we have to teach our young people that. Our young folk need to know that they can have a respectful voice in the midst of the church, because the church is who they are. When you and I wonder what's happening in the world around us, we don't need to look past our interactions with other adults in the church. Our young folk are watching us, and they're learning some bad lessons. So I'd ask you to pray for our clergy, to support them and encourage them. And for those of you who are wise enough, every once in a while give them a little corrective as well. Tell them that you love them even though you don't agree with them sometimes. Tell them that you're praying for them and will support them because you trust who they are. Trust is built on that mutual respect and prayer. We will strengthen the bonds in our diocese if our clergy and our lay leadership understand that they're prayed for and loved. So So I've asked a lot of you. The one thing I will share with you that you can count on is my support of your ministry. As you have ideas, as you have concerns, as you have needs, let me cooperate with that. I can't help and do that which I don't know. So if you have ideas, if you have concerns, if you have hopes, projects, let's talk about it. You have leadership that has access to meeting with me. Let's move this thing forward. And let's make sure that on that date in September, I think it's the 6th of December, let's make sure everyone shows up. Let's get this thing off to a running start. It's men and women, by the way. It's not just the men. I bet an amen corner here somewhere. But we need to have people show up and begin this training. And then we'll worry about how we're going to get access to all these places. With Father Sabuni at the helm, not a door will be closed to us. So there they were, Andrew and his brother Peter, minding their own business, and Zebedee's 2 sons mending their nets. Jesus came along and said, "Follow me." Jesus has come along tonight and said to you and to me,